As an exercise, I encourage you to try to make such a label in which we will find the type mark of the window, type height and width of the opening, and the height of the window sill. Now I will show you step by step how we can do this. I choose File, New Family, and I find in this case we already have the Windows tag template ready, so I open it. I start by drawing a line, next a circle. This time, due to the fact that on this line there will be labels of the height and width of the window, I will not use leader option in the project and add just this line of the specified length on my own. I choose Create Label now, click at any point. I choose Type Mark, move it over, click OK. I edit the text, narrowing it down a bit. Edit the type, duplicate it. I create another text style 2 mm high. Now I choose Create, Label Insert. I choose the height property or width. But we also have rough height and rough width relating more to the window wall opening. So here we have to remember that from the window module, what is the difference between these two parameters. And now I could add them separately or move the two parameters into this table and group them accordingly. Here I enter a sample value. I'm going to use centimeters, so for example I will enter a value of 120 by 150, and then if I want width to be in a new line, I select a break here. This is kind of an enter on the keyboard. I click OK and it's done. I now rotate 90 degrees, also narrowing it. And let's see that this text style have a white background in it. You can edit this by selecting Edit Type, Duplicate, and changing the background from opaque to transparent. I click Apply. Then we can also see that such a white frame appears around this text, much larger than the text itself. This property is defined by leader border offset. We can make it smaller, although it doesn't have that much influence over our design on the appearance itself, only that it is simply not that big. The different descriptions don't overlap each other. Next I will add a sill height label. From the list I find sill height parameter. Click Apply, and let's see that we can also add prefixes and suffixes here. So if I want to add, for example, HP equals before, it will be present before this dynamic value. This value is a fixed value, sample text. It's just a dynamic that will change later in the project. It will help me also judge the appearance of this label, the space it will take. I load it back into the project. Let's insert some sample window, select tagging, uncheck leader. We can see that we don't want two such separate lines to appear here. So I uncheck, click, and move. Let's see that at this point the width and height values are shown in millimeter. That is according to the settings of the project. We can check that under Manage Project Units. The default value for length is millimeters. If I would change this value to centimeters, then the label will also update. What if I would like the label to always show values in centimeters, regardless of the project setting? I would have to go back to the definition of this label, select it, I click Edit Label, and for height parameter, I click on this row. Here we have the option to set the units. By default, as I told you, these settings are taken over from the project. I can uncheck this option, choose myself centimeters, set the number of decimal places. I click OK and do the same for the width. Similarly, I could apply the same change for the seal height. I load it into the project, override, and let's see that if I now change the units again in the project, let's go back to millimeters, this label now ignores these settings. As for the mark type, of course, this value is read from the properties of the window. Here we have value of 24. You can change it to any other value.